Welcome back for Keepers Velocity's Lodestar chapters 59 and 60. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a chapter. Give today's video a like and let me know if you could show one KOTLC character around where you live in the Forbidden Cities, who would it be? Chapter 69. Okay, what just happened? Fitz asked, still clinging to Sophie as she and Tam fought to regain their balance on the mossy, uneven floor. The symbol glowed under their feet, the only light in the damp, murky room they'd somehow been transported to. Something dripped in the distance, and their breaths clouded the air. The bitter cold clawed through Sophie's clothes, and she silently thanked Bianca for insisting she add a thick black cape to her outfit to match her gloves. I think I just leaped us, using starlight absorbed by a shadow, Tam whispered. I didn't even know I could do that. But when I touched Sophie's hands, my instincts took over. So is this another hideout? Sophie asked, slipping her gloves back on. She pointed to the new rune illuminated on the ray of the symbol under Tam's shoes. Valconian, Fitz whispered. I'm assuming that's another white light star? Sophie nodded. Her eyes were adjusting to the murk, letting her pick out more details as she crept forward to get a better view. The moss made the stones slippery, and uneven cracks tried to trip her stupid heeled boots. But she could see a brighter light ahead, and carefully tiptoed over. It looks like some sort of human rune, she whispered, brushing a hand across one of the damp, crumbling walls. She'd never been to Scotland, but something about this place reminded her of it. An old, decaying castle, complete with cracked, cut-glass windows, leaking rays of blue-gray light. Thick vines covered by ancient stones, and the air smelled of earth and sea. I don't hear any thoughts around here, do you? Fitz shook his head. How much do you think they're freaking out back at Foxfire? Sandor's probably tracking me as we speak. Actually, wait. Sophie ran her hands down her red tunic. These are Bianca's clothes. I doubt they have any trackers. Ducks could hack into our registry feeds, Fitz said. Or maybe our panic switches? We might need them to, Sophie realized. I'm not wearing my home crystals, since I'm not supposed to go back to Havenfield until the gnomes finish installing the extra security. Fitz patted his pocket and cursed under his breath. I didn't bring my Pathfinder either. Good thing we have me. Tam pulled a purple-tinted pendant out of under his cape. It only goes to a Louveterre, but the gnomes can take us from there. Wait, Sophie said, as he held the crystal up to catch the faint rays of light. Shouldn't we look around before we go? Isn't this where they brought Wiley? It's where they went when they left the Silver Tower, Tam said. I know that's why the shadows called to me. But I can't imagine this is where they held him hostage. There's no cell, not even a totally solid wall. And I don't see any rope. Can't you do that shadow trick again to see the symbol here, and see if they went somewhere else? Fitz asked. But why would they bother coming here in the first place? Sophie asked. The symbol in the Silver Tower could have taken them to any of their hideouts, right? It felt like it, Tam agreed. So then there has to be a reason they chose here, Sophie said. Maybe this part is just a facade to disguise the real hideout, and the shelter's underground. Should we fan out and see if we can find a hidden staircase or door or something? I'm with you on everything besides the fan-out part, Fitz told her. I think we should stay close so we don't get separated. But that's going to make the search take way longer, Sophie argued. If I'm right about why Keefe's cloak had those hidden discs in it, we've probably already triggered some sort of alarm already. All the more reason to stay together, Tam said. I'll keep my crystal in my hand, and we should all hang on to each other. That way, if we need to leap away fast, we can. Sophie couldn't argue with that logic, and did her best to keep a hold of Fitz. But a strange pattern in the cut glass windows caught her attention. She let go to get a closer look. Just for the briefest second, and the distance saved her from being caught by the first burst of blinding white light. The beam of searing energy curled into a wall around Fitz and Tam, trapping them in a narrow force field that shocked them as they pressed against the inner side, fighting to escape. It's about time you decided to come and play, Rye shouted from somewhere in the shadows as he launched another force field towards Sophie. She dove and rolled to avoid it. the edge of the energy clipping her shoulder and stinging with tingles that burned like acid-coated needles. She gritted her teeth through the pain and crawled behind a crumbling pillar, tucking herself into the darkness to wait him out. She couldn't strike until she had a clear lock on his location. In the meantime, she let the fury build, stewing with her unraveling emotions, rimming her vision with red. She'd only have one chance at this, one moment to drop Rye before he caged her in his trap. A scrape of shoe on stone gave her the direction she needed, and she leaped from the shadows, arms raised, ready to blast Rye with the force of her wrath. But there were 4 black-cloaked figures waiting for her, and even with their hoods raised, she could see enough of their faces to recognize them. Rye, Brant, Alvar, and Keefe. Chapter 70. "You," Sophie breathed, feeling the fight whoosh out of her as the reality of fighting Keefe kicked her in the stomach. The panic in his eyes made it clear he was just as horrified to see her. "Don't!" Brant shouted, his scarred features twisting as he grabbed Rye's arms with his only hand. "If you shield her, she can't burn." A thread of white flame sparked to life at the stumpy end of Brant's other arm, twisting into finger-like tendrils. "She can inflict," Rye reminded him, "but she won't." Brant released his hold on Rye and pulled Keefe closer, waving the flame under Keefe's chin. "She still cares about this one, and she knows I'll melt his face off if she misbehaves." "He's one of us," Alvar shouted. "That's still up for debate, but he can prove it now." Brant's scarred lips curled into what little smile were able to form as he moved his flame fingers closer to Keefe's throat. With his real hand, he reached into his cape and withdrew the ruined crest pin he'd stolen from Sophie months and months ago. "I think I've held on to this long enough, don't you?" Sophie knew it was coming, even before Brant shoved Keefe toward her and held the small eagle pin in the searing white flame. The jewel crusted. It sparkled and crackled, and the pin turned to a red-hot brand. But he pressed it into Keefe's palm instead of hers. Keefe thrashed and screamed, eyes watering, teeth gritted in agony. "Now," Brant told Keefe, pulling the pin away. "Show her the same pain. And in case you're having trouble following along here, Sophie, here's how this is going to work. You tell us where you're keeping Wiley, and I'll have Loverboy here put the scars somewhere only you can see them. Try to resist, and he'll give you the same makeover you gave me. And if you fight me," he told Keefe, "I'll melt off parts of your body one by one, starting with your fingers." Desperation screamed through Sophie's brain as her head scrambled for a plan. Somewhere through the chaos, she realized there was another voice in the mix. "Sophie, can you hear me?" "Fitz." His thoughts were muffled and staticky, but she was stunned he could reach her through it all. "Tam's breaking down the force field with the darkness," he explained. "And he says he'll be able to slip his shadows through the cracks and cloud Brant's mind. It'll blind him for a few seconds. Will that be long enough for you to drop him with your inflicting before he burns Keefe?" It probably would, but only if she was willing to drop all of them. "Keefe's too close to Brant," she warned. "I'll have to take out everyone." "I don't see any other option, do you?" She glanced at the flames under Keefe's nose and the oozing blister on his hand. "Tell Tam to do it," she transmitted, as she reached deep inside, gathering every last emotion and fueling them with the darkest thoughts she'd ever had. Brant flinched, dropping his flames, and Sophie took Tam's cue, letting the cold waves pour over her, their jagged edges tearing across everything within reach. Seconds stretched into eternity, and reality vanished into pure pulsing power and rage. So much rage. She wanted to bathe in it, drown in it, let the anger take control until she punished anyone and everyone who'd ever hurt her. But she'd held on to one thread of good through the barrage. One wisp of a thought that tethered her to who she needed to be. Keefe. The name peeled back the dark curtain and let in a blistering, blinding rush as she dropped to her knees, her hands feeling for shaking limbs across the cold stones. She found him right as her eyes shifted back into focus, and she pulled him into her lap. "If you can hear me, Keefe, try to fight through the darkness," she transmitted. "The pain's not real. Shove it aside and come back to the surface." "Tam broke the force field," Fitz said behind her, making her jump, "and he's stamping out Brant's flames. The stones are damp, so the only thing that caught was his cloak. How can I help?" "Find something to restrain the Neverseen. When this wears off." "On it," Fitz said. He turned to leave, then pivoted back. "Stop looking so guilty, Sophie. You did this to save him. Like he said, sometimes things have to get worse before they get better." She focused on the happier promise. "It's almost over." And it was, wasn't it? This was a huge victory. In one afternoon, they'd caught Alvar, Rye, and Brant, 3 of the most prominent players in the Neverseen. And now that they knew how to use the gadgets and symbols, they had a way to track down 16 hideouts. And they had Keefe. She craned her neck to watch Tam and Fitz work, stripping each shaking figure out of their cloak and shredding the fabric into makeshift ropes to bind their hands and feet and cover their mouths and eyes. "We need to get out of here," Tam said. "Some of their buddies will probably wonder what's taking so long, and these guys could wake up any minute." Fitz punched his brother in the face. That should keep him knocked out longer. "He's not the one I'm worried about," Tam told him. "If that Cyanopath wakes up, he'll trap us in 2 seconds. Fitz sighed and left Alvar in a bound heap so he could pull Rye into a chokehold. Tam held Brant the same way. "I'm keeping his mind clouded with shadow so he can't start any more flames. But I'll feel a lot better when he's locked up in a fireproof cell." "Me too," Sophie said. "But I don't think it's safe to leap Keefe until he's out of the daze." "Leap where?" Keefe grunted between labored breaths. Sophie hugged him tighter. "I'm so sorry. I couldn't take them down without hurting you." He gritted his teeth in a pained smile. "Admit it, Foster. You're enjoying this. A little." "Never." She rubbed her eyes with her gloved fingers, trying to fight back sobs. "It's not that bad," he promised. And when she met his eyes, she could see the haze of pain slowly fading. It crashed right back when he tried to uncurl his blistered, blackened hand. The metal pins seemed to have fused with his skin. "Remind me to kick Brant in the junk a few times once he's awake." "Only if I get a turn," she said. "Physic has lots of burn salves in Lodestar. I'm sure she'll get you fixed up." "Physic?" Keefe asked. "Why not Elwyn?" "Tam's the only one who has a leaping crystal with him, and he's been living at the hideout. We kind of came here by accident. It's a long story. I'll tell you once we're back at the Lost Cities." "He has a crystal to Lodestar?" "Yeah, why?" Keefe closed his eyes. "What's wrong?" she asked. "Is it hurting?" "No, it's..." He took a slow breath and pulled himself up, cradling his singed hand. "I can't go with you guys. I know you think this fixes everything, but Finton's vision is huge, and all of this will only be a small setback. We still need someone on the inside." "Do you really think Finton will trust you after you let everyone else get captured?" Sophie interrupted. "Think of what he did to your mom, and she only cost him 1 prisoner. Look at what Brant just did to you." She grabbed his wrist, forcing him to look at the oozing wound. "Would they do that if they trusted you?" Keefe turned away, not quite fighting off his shudder. "That's why you have to let me take Alvar." "Yeah, that's never happening," Fitz practically growled. "It has to. I know it's brutal, but think of the bigger picture. If I bring Alvar back, I'm the hero who saved one of the team. And Alvar's the safest one for me to take. He's always believed in me. You heard him defend me when Brant sparked the flames. And he's never killed anyone." "No, he just kidnaps people and watches them be tortured," Sophie snapped. "Believe me, I'll make him pay for that, but right now we need to play this smart. Brant and Rye are part of Finton's big plan, so take them out, lock them up, and have Forkel interrogate the crud out of them until we find out what they know. But they'll only know a piece. So I'll use Alvar to keep my in and learn the rest. I'll be safe. Finton likes me." "Dude, save your daddy issues for another time," Tam ordered. "Finton doesn't care about you. He doesn't trust you, and if you go back to him, he'll destroy you." Keefe's eye roll was epic. "Don't you need to go fix your bangs or something?" "You can hate me all you want," Tam told him. "I don't mean I'm not it won't mean I'm not right. Admit that now, and you might still have a chance to fix what really matters. Or you can wait until you've lost her. It's your call." "Lost who?" Fitz asked. Tam shook his head. "We need to go." "Tam's right," Sophie said, her legs shaking as she stood. "Come on, Keefe. You're never going to get another chance like this. I've tried for weeks to figure out how to get you away from them, and this is it. You're safe. You'll be long gone before they realize what's happened. And we'll hide you somewhere until we shut down every single one of their hideouts connected to the symbol. And that'll be the end of it." "But it won't," he mumbled. "That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's still so much more to do." "Then do it with us." She offered him her gloved hand, and her eyes pleaded with him to take it this time. After a breathless second, he did. He let her pull him to his feet, leaning on her to stay steady. "I know what matters, Foster," he whispered. "And it's all that matters." The intensity of his stare turned everything floaty and fluttery, but it all crashed back down when he lunged for Tam and snatched the Lodestar crystal from his hand. "What are you doing?" Fitz shouted as Keefe bolted to Alvar and hefted him over his shoulder. "I bet I can trade this back for the information I need to steal from the caches. And I'd stay back if I were you," he told Fitz and Tam. "You don't want these guys waking up if you jostle them around too much, do you?" "Then drop him with your inflicting," Tam shouted at Sophie. But Sophie had drained all her pent-up emotions when she took down the others. All she had left was shock and sickening sadness. "Please don't do this," she begged. "If you leave here with that crystal, you'll trap us, and you'll compromise Lodestar." "The Black Swan can sacrifice one hideout for what this gives me," Keefe said. "And you can teleport. There has to be a cliff around here you can jump off to get momentum." "Are we supposed to haul 2 bodies with us as we try to find out?" Sophie argued. "Use your telekinesis. You're the amazing Sophie Foster. You'll figure it out." "And you're making a seriously huge mistake," Tam warned. "Maybe. I'm pretty good at that. But I'm even better at fixing things. That's still what I'm trying to do here. Trust me." "How?" Sophie's voice cracked along the edges. "After all the times you've lied, or ignored us, or betrayed us, how do we ever trust you again?" "I don't know," he whispered. "And I don't know if I can forgive this one," she whispered back. Keefe swallowed hard, eyes focused on his feet as he nodded. "Yeah, I can feel that. And if you need proof that I'm not doing this for me, that's it, okay? It definitely was not okay. Nothing about this was okay." "I'm sorry," Keefe whispered. "You have no idea how much. I'm also guessing this means no more check-ins. So please, please try to be careful. Keep your bodyguards close, and know I will end this." It did feel like an end, as he stepped into the glowing Lodestar symbol. She just didn't know what kind of end it was. "Oh, I forgot to tell you," he mumbled. "I finally know how the black disc works. If you have the one you need, and you give the right command..." He moved into the circle at the end of one of the rays, and whispered, "Guanyura." The ray flashed so bright, Sophie had to look away. By the time the glow faded, Keefe and Alvar were gone. That concludes 69 and 70. Heartbreakingly sad, but also, can anybody that loves So Keefe agree that Tam making that hint and then Keefe coming back and saying, "I know what matters, Foster," was so cute. And we believe in you, Keefe. You'll be back. Alright, I'll see you tomorrow for chapters 71 and 72. Bye!